Hi guys, this is another episode of Bunka. My name is Rhea Somerville, and over the last few episodes I've been looking at Japanese culture in Aotearoa. And today I'm going to be talking to a couple of different people, one from the North Island and one from the South Island, who are working in the industry of growing Japanese produce. So if there's one thing that I personally love about Japan, it's the food. And when I go and travel there, it is genuinely one of my main activities is eating. I'll barely go 20 minutes without having some kind of food or drink in my hand. And so that's why I was really excited to visit Masa at Kiwi Success in Gisborne, and a personal friend of my mum's in Christchurch, Masako Fisher, and her husband Rodney. So Kiwi Success is a company in Gisborne that is growing squash and yuzu, and Masa is the general manager, and he's involved with the ins and outs of the company. So although they do sell some produce in New Zealand, they actually export a lot of it to Japan, and that's because, like Japan, we have the 4 seasons, and therefore our climates and our growing environments are really similar. So we're able to grow produce that they grow in Japan quite easily here. And as we're in opposite hemispheres, we can actually grow the produce which is off season for Japan. Being in Gisborne, Kiwi Success also has a great environment for growing citrus fruit. And this includes lemons, limes, oranges and yuzu. And Masa himself actually has his own small lot on which he started growing yuzu, but there is a thing about yuzu where it takes about 7 years before you produce any fruit. And he also grows Australian finger limes, which he describes as nature's caviar. On the side, Masa runs and participates in a sake club, which is a group of people who are all passionate about sake and they like to discuss and learn more about the spirit. So sake is an alcohol made from fermented rice, and it generally has about 14 to 16% alcohol, so it's more like a wine-based alcohol. And Masa's passion for sake means that he imports and sells sake from his local town in Japan, and he only sells this to restaurants. So you may see some of the sake that he imports being served around in New Zealand bars and restaurants. I actually first met Masa when I was working at Hugo's Bistro in Auckland CBD, and he supplied the tastiest yuzu sake I've ever had. And so Masa and I briefly spoke about his business and what he does.
My name is Masa Takahashi. I'm general manager of Kiwi Success trading company. So Kiwi Success, we export about 5,000 to 10,000 tons of buttercup squash to overseas every year. So 90% of that squash mainly goes to Japan and the rest Korea. We also export alfalfa hay and Bunka honey to Japan too. I moved to Kiwi Success 4 years ago. Owned by the squash growers, which is Henry Dodd and David Bryan.
So tell us a little bit about why the company grows squash to export to Japan.
Japan has buttercup squash, of course, but winter time they don't have any squash available. I think Japanese companies picked up New Zealand, so probably first export was 1975. Since then, the mainly Gisborne and Hawke's Bay 2 regions has grown squash to export.
So you've started importing sake, and you also have a sake club. How did that start?
Firstly, I imported the smoked pickle and the udon noodle, and then sake imported, all come from my hometown called Akita. They start selling sake around restaurants, but what I found was just myself satisfaction, importing a product from my hometown only, because my customers are not, come from my hometowns in a different region of Japan or France or Italy. They don't care about my hometown. So, and then start importing sake from different regions, like Iwate, Nagano, or Wakayama, Kyoto. After that, thought probably need some membership communication, which is sake club come from. But we don't, I don't sell sake to those people. We just share the information of sake each other, and they just catch up, when I go to Auckland or somewhere. So yeah, there are not so many members, but just we are sharing information of sake each other.
Do you think because you're working in imports and exports between New Zealand and Japan, you're feeling like you're bringing kind of a closeness between the two countries?
Yeah, the two things, I feel like I'm still connected to Japan. The second thing is, there's so many excellent stuff all Japan produces. So I wanna discover, and I wanna bring the things, other new products for Kiwis,
So after our chat, Masa took us around his wee orchard that he has in Gisborne, and we got to see the yuzu trees that he's growing and the Australian finger limes, which when we were there he actually discovered that he had his first fruit, which was really exciting as well. And then a few weeks later, I actually went home to Christchurch and went and visited my mum's friend Masako Fisher at her farm, and she took us around her farm and I asked them a little bit about their business, which is Yumesato Farm, and they sell 3 products: kuri, which is Japanese chestnut, ume, which is Japanese plum, and umeboshi, which is Japanese pickled plums. So yeah, if you don't know what these are, don't worry, because I feel like a lot of Kiwi people probably wouldn't know. But an ume is widely known as a Japanese plum, but it's actually more similar to an apricot. It kind of falls somewhere between the two. And they're these small green, yellow coloured fruits which begin to orange up when they're almost ready to pick. So where a plum or, whatever fruit ripens as it matures and it gets sweeter, ume's acidity actually gets stronger the more mature it gets on the tree. And so people don't tend to eat ume fresh. It's usually used for pickling, condiments and drinks. Umeshu, for example, is a Japanese plum wine, and this is made by soaking ume in white liquor and sugar, and it has this great kind of sweet tangy flavour, and it's really good over ice, and it's one of my favourite beverages to have when I'm eating Japanese food. And I was really lucky because Masako took me back to her house and I tried some of her umeshu and yuzushu that she makes, which she doesn't sell, but she does say that a lot of the people who buy her fresh ume actually use it to make their own umeshu or umeboshi. And then umeboshi are pickled plums, and they are very tangy and quite salty, and they're very popular in Japanese cuisine. And in most convenience stores around Japan you'll find not just umeboshi rice balls, but also umeboshi flavoured chips, drinks, lollies, all that kind of stuff. And talking to Masako, I discovered that recently umeboshi have taken on this superfood identity, and that's because they have a lot of medicinal properties and health benefits. So Masako said she actually has a customer who eats an umeboshi a day in order to stay healthy. And it is probably what some would call an acquired taste, but I've always loved the flavour. And like other Japanese foods which have grown internationally in Western world, like sashimi or wasabi or like pickled ginger, it seems as though umeboshi seems to be growing in fans recently. And so the process of pickling ume is actually centuries old, and it came into Japan from China around 1500 years ago. In China, there's been documentation on umeboshi for millennia. But umeboshi rose in popularity in Japan in about the 12th century, and they were actually renowned with samurai during the 15th and 16th century, saying they could revive those from the brink of death. So at this time, umeboshi was still being considered a medicine, not just a casual food. And around the 17th century, people began to make umeboshi at home the same way that, we would make a chutney or a pickle or a jam, as we do in the Western world. So umeboshi continued to be used medicinally and then developed in the last couple of centuries to be a regular feature on the Japanese dinner table. But centuries ago, umeboshi were used to purify water and treat typhoid and dysentery. So what are some of the health benefits? Well, they have a high concentrate of citric acid, higher than any other fruit. And it's this component which improves circulation, boosts the immune system, and it's also known to limit a bacterium known as pylori, which is the leading cause of gastroenteritis, stomach ulcers, and stomach cancer. Citric acid can also boost energy and aids in recovery, and it flushes out and breaks down lactic acid. So to put that into perspective, umeboshi have 25 times the amount of citric acid that a lemon does. Also present in umeboshi is polyphenols, which reduce the risk of diabetes. It lowers blood pressure, it prevents arteries hardening, it boosts calcium absorption, and when the umeboshi is heated, it can produce vanillin, which prevents bloating. And they're also a good source of iron, thiamine, potassium, riboflavin, which are all things which help run your immune system, your nervous system, your metabolism, and your digestion. They're full of antioxidants, so that's why people claim one a day keeps the doctor away. And it seems that the high alkaline of the umeboshi is what provides a lot of these health benefits, and supposedly they can still be used to treat fatigue, arthritis, body aches, cancers, infection, colds, vomiting, diarrhea, dysentery, alcohol poisoning, hangovers, acid reflux, and liver toxicity. And they're also meant to be good for oral health and bad breath, as their antimicrobial properties fight oral bacteria. So Masako and Rodney also have kuri trees, which we know as chestnuts. But not all chestnuts are edible, so don't just pick up any old conker you see lying around on the ground and cook it up to eat. Kuri have been consumed in Asia since prehistoric times and go as far back as the Jomon period in Japan, dating back to 10,000 BC. And these edible chestnuts themselves have health benefits such as high fibre, which promotes digestive health, antioxidants, which promote heart health, high levels of manganese to maintain bone health, B vitamins, folate, thiamine, and riboflavin for brain health, ellagic acid, which supports thyroid function, and high presence of potassium. And in Japan, they generally eat them steamed or roasted, mixed with rice, potato or sweet potato, or in baking such as cakes and cookies. And my favourite way is eating it in Mont Blanc. So I got to talk with Masako and Rodney about their farm and had a wee tour of the orchard as well. So how long have you been out on the farm here?
22 years.
And how long did it take after you started doing it to actually start producing enough stuff to sell?
7 or 8 years really.
We bought this section on year 2000. Yeah, and then first year we started shelter trees, and then second year we started chestnuts.
Yeah.
Trees.
5 years later, ume take about 3 or 4 years till you get any.
When children are small, playing around, very safe, and then we are planting each trees
Yeah, hard work.
by all ourselves.
Yeah, and putting a sprinkler for each tree.
That's hard too.
Why did you decide to do chestnuts in ume?
When we went to Japan, we went to the food section of the department store.
That was my favourite place.
Same.
Yeah.
Free samples, but not anymore.
Yeah. And one day he saw the shop all selling umeboshi, and he asked me, why so many umeboshi shop? And I didn't think that so many, but because it's a traditional food, I said. And then we thought, we we saw somewhere article about someone brought ume into New Zealand properly.
Through quarantine.
Yeah,
it's quite
yeah,
hard.
proper way. And what we didn't know what happened to them. So when we came back to New Zealand and we tried to find out, then finally we found some person who knows. And then asked the professional people to, we pay professional
For grafting.
grafting people to make it bigger.
So your umeboshi came from the same ume that those people had brought over?
Yeah.
Do you think everyone growing ume in New Zealand has the same plant?
No, because a lot of the ones that are growing are came here in the 1920s and 30s for what do you call it? More for flowers, decoration. So there are some people growing. So ours are proper Nanko ume with white flowers and thin skins. But a lot of people are growing one with pink flowers and thick skins, and it's not the proper Nanko ume. It's still ume, and they're still all right. But
That's good.
we've got one or two of them here, and then people just grow them from seed. I've got one or two of those as well.
Nanko ume is best for umeboshi.
Thin skin.
Yeah. So that's from Wakayama. So that's the best ume. So it's very lucky we got that.
So you guys have been running, well, you've had the farm since 2000, but was the business established right away, or did you wait until
10
years.
10 years? Yeah.
Before that, just mucking around really.
And
For
fun.
sure.
Yeah. And also fun to harvest. Always very interesting to learn about nature, and also many fruits we get. Yeah, that's really fun.
So how big has the business grown? Do you have customers all around New Zealand?
Yeah, from very north to very south to everywhere.
Yeah.
Really.
And do you find it's mainly Japanese people?
Mainly yes, but Korean, Chinese, Malaysian, Chinese, and German, and then
Isn't there one Japanese man who buys enough to have one every day?
every day is very healthy stuff. So that's and also I never thought about making umeboshi by myself. My mother was making, and I was watching, but wasn't really interested, because that I didn't really like umeboshi too much in Japan. But
Is that something that people do a lot at home?
Our grandma's generation.
Yeah.
And just a wee sidebar, that other voice you're hearing is my mum.
But people started to ask, because it's easy if I make and they just buy it. They want to, because some not easy to make best one. But I sort of tried experiment for several years, and then I got some idea. Now I am quite good at making good quality
It's
one.
not as easy as you think.
Yeah, first, second, maybe 3 years. It was not always, right? But now I know what's the best way to make. Yeah, because I'm doing it for 15 years.
And the vinegar and stuff that you make, is that a byproduct?
Yeah, it's not proper vinegar.
You just put salt on them, and that's what it sucks out of the plant.
Ah.
And they call it, it's not vinegar, it's just very acidic.
And then, even like ume vinegar, I didn't know before I came to New Zealand. I mean, what to use. I had no idea, but sort of customers started to tell me, you can sell this, you can sell that, or that sort of way. But only original one is like ume miso dressing and is my idea, but others are like from Japan people selling, ume vinegar, and also ume paste. Ume paste is, always I want to sell proper one, but sometimes break that's easy for people to use.
Ones that aren't 100% good.
So the ones that like lose their shape, you just use.
Yes.
That's smart. Yeah.
So I got the seeds out of 50 kilos for Emerson's to make beer
They found us, and then
through the local shop.
Yeah.
He just went and bought some packets, scrunched them up with his hands and made 4 litres of beer or something. Then made a sample batch and then did 3 big batches.
So that's like a German style.
Yeah, it's a sour. Yeah.
Aware about beer.
Yeah. I worked in hospital for a long time.
She's a bartender, actually.
Oh.
Where I was back in the day. Are there many other companies in New Zealand that are doing similar products?
I don't think so. Only very niche,
Yeah, very small market.
market, but maybe just only us probably, because the Alexander they used to grow,
Green Gage,
but they stopped. They don't do anymore because they
Frost. Even here it's a
yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
But the good thing about here is it's dry, and so we don't spray any insecticide or stuff like that. So we spray copper on the tree in the winter time, and just once, and that's it.
Do you have any staff here? Just you two?
Yeah, but the harvesting time, sorting is the hard. More time.
Time consuming.
Yeah. So we ask few people for the.
It's only 2 or 3 days a year, though.
Yeah.
It's nothing really.
4 days.
Kids used to help a bit, but they're not around anymore. They don't want to help.
Yeah.
So people can buy your products just online?
Online and Pico,
Pico.
The organic
shop. And Dunedin, Costco. Yeah, that's all. Or from just local people come to buy from me. Yes, home.
Do you think that you'll grow other things to sell? Or are you just going to stick with ume and
But that's
chestnuts?
enough. It's
Yeah.
just something to keep me busy when I'm retired. Keep me away from her. You're happy about that, aren't you?
Yeah. It should be good.
That's my retirement thing.
Yeah.
Get this season out of the way and then see about. The thing is, probably need to find somebody who can help with bottling and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So yeah, Masako and Rodney are thinking about one day selling umeshu as well. And Masako has a passion for making umeshu at home. So she took me and my mum back to her house and let us try some of the umeshu that she's made.
You can buy ume and you can make all in umeshu. Yeah, she'll send it to.
Yeah, some young Kiwis ordered. Yes, because they want to make umeshu. They have been to Japan and they know about umeshu and they ordered.
I've never made one umeshu oneboshi in my life. My grandma always make.
Umeshu?
Yeah, I like umeshu.
And you can use different taste of sugar or alcohol, all different. Yeah. So like this one, 1 liter of the vodka, 1 liter of vodka, 1 kilo of ume, and sugar is 600 grams.
What's your favourite way to eat umeboshi?
Good question.
Do you have an umeboshi cookbook that you've made yet? I feel
No,
like
She's got
Not
quite a lot
yet.
of
you
recipes.
should
yeah.
start making one.
Well, yeah, actually, very interesting recipe is mix with kiwi fruits.
Okay.
Kiwi fruits and umeboshi
Mm.
squeeze together, just mashed, but even just by hand. Perfect for salad. And also avocado with umeboshi
Mm.
on toast.
I think that would be really good, actually.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think that would be really
yeah.
good.
And the Japanese way, I like umeboshi, cook rice with umeboshi.
Inside?
Yeah,
In the rice cooker?
Rice cooker. Take
Takes a seed.
seed off or no, doesn't matter.
Mm.
But umeboshi and salmon.
Oh, yeah,
And
like fried
shiso.
rice.
What other aspects of kind of Japanese culture and stuff do you bring into your life and your business?
Umeboshi, pickled thing is pickled ume or miso or ume vinegar. They are very good for health, and that's a very good knowledge from ancient people from over 1,000 years. So I want to continue that knowledge to keep into New Zealand. To even we never know what's happened in Japan because many people close the ume farm because sometimes not good profit if they but we still keep ume here. It's very good for future, for the ume keep ancient Japanese
Preserving the
ancient idea,
Culture.
culture,
heritage.
yeah,
preserving the practice of making umeboshi as well, right? So you
Yeah.
want to continue
Yeah.
passing on
Yes,
the
that's a
knowledge.
culture, food culture, and for the very good for health. Yeah.
What's your favourite thing about selling umeshu and chestnuts and stuff? What do you enjoy most?
People say they really say so nice comment about umeboshi. Like especially Japanese people really think that's great. To have that, not in Japan, even don't have to go back to Japan to get. But the best we are doing, very proud of our product is without that chemicals. Yeah, and people who appreciate. That's wonderful. When I got, nice email, or comment,
Do you think that you'll get more New Zealanders?
I would like to. Yes.
So there you have it. She is looking for more Kiwi customers. So if you want to try some umeboshi, or you want to try your hand at making your own plum wine, or even if you just want some chestnuts or something, then you can go to Masako's website and order them online. I'll put a link to that in the description. And I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversations that I had with both Masa and Masako and Rodney, because I really enjoyed making this episode. I had so much fun out on the farms, both of them. Now I will leave it here for this episode. Definitely think that you should try umeboshi. It's delicious. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye!